All right, we're going to welcome Alice to our after show because she is joining us for the first time today. But of course, the shooting was, going crazy on Twitter. I want to get your opinion because you weren't in those blocks and you had something to say about the medical professionals.
Yes. Police officers are first responders. There's no excuse for them not being able to perform CPR. I mean, nurses, teachers, childcare providers, even the lay public has been taught how to do CPR. The American Heart Association is big on the just pump the chest doing the staying alive song to it, and I'm really unsettled with that police officer not trying to perform some type of life-sustaining services. It really is. It's tragic. It's very tragic.
But there are a lot of people who were saying about the mayor how he should resign, and I know that were you saying that it's not enough that he was just the police officer was fired. What else would you want the mayor?
I was saying that we just can't sit there and just be happy with that. We can't. I understand why people in the room were saying no justice, no peace, although it doesn't really apply in this situation because there are steps towards justice. But I understand
that you reconsidered your position.
No. I'm just saying I get why they said it, but this isn't enough, and that's what I said on the show.
This isn't enough. In the name of the nation, it isn't enough.
Right. In the nation, and then you have all these other instances where you get to this point where they're even charged. We have video, and they still get off scot-free. And so I just understand that cry, and like you said, it doesn't apply in this instance, but we're not there yet.
Not yet, though, right? Because I want to jump in and say something. Right now, he's been charged, right?
Yeah.
People have made it, in the court of public opinion, he's guilty, right? Yeah. But he isn't guilty yet. So
that's scary.
When you're talking about justice and like, oh, justice has been served, we've got a long ways to go, and he's got a big defense he can build still.
I know, but the process of justice is underway. At least people feel like there's something happening where they're being satisfied with something being done. It's interesting. I talked to a civil rights attorney today, and I was saying in Los Angeles, I feel like things are better here. There's not so much lethal force. And he said, from where I'm sitting, it's just the same. And I thought, wow, we really do have a problem here in this country. And so to Vanessa's point.
Yeah,
I think it feels unsatisfying because our legal system, it just takes time to charge. I mean, Annalise knows more than anyone. It just takes time to get there.
Here's another thing a cop told me. He goes, this civil rights attorney told me this. He said, a lot of these police positions are six-figure jobs. They have people with, they have people with associate's degrees. People with the graduate degrees are looking for work. We should be promoting that. They should be having an outreach program to get really well-trained people into the police force. Don't you think? And then that might change the whole thing if we have super educated people in there.
But education alone is not enough. That's the problem because it's not enough action. He did go through a multitude of training programs. I mean, some of them were not targeted for this population and working with his own startle response possibly.
None of them.
But he did go through tons of training, and still there is a problem with execution when you get there. So there's got to be something more active, right, Dr. Drew? We were just talking about how this community is like Ferguson, so most of them are in powerful positions. So
apparently they couldn't attract enough African American candidates. That's what I heard about this community. I was like, oh, for God's sakes! Or maybe there's some psychological screening we can do to help talk about who's more likely to contain their impulses in certain situations, and then again, better educated people, perhaps.
And even better educated people aren't necessarily sensitive in racial issues. It's like the justice system is flawed, and so we do need those practices put in place. I know you're saying like typically when you are more educated, it should be more helpful, and it could be, but it's just fearful because the system is so flawed. And we saw George Zimmerman go through a whole case, and we thought that was pretty clear in black and white.
And honestly, better screening because actually as part of the police screening, there is no screening on racial sensitivity, on whether or not their people have implicit or explicit biases. That's not part of it.
I think we need like a state, as I was saying, these police departments are everyone's this little fiefdom. They're all thousands of them. There needs to be some sort of state review board, maybe some unified function in every state that helps unify the standards, perhaps.
Absolutely. That's
something like that.
Right.
It comes back to me. All right, education screening. What other solutions would you pitch to help solve this problem that's not just in this situation but nationwide?